I mean, I pretty much post a police officer. I pretty much almost every day guaranteed can post at least one teacher and one police officer a day on my feed. These are people that have been caught with child sexual abuse material and have been and that story made it to the corporate press. So
Yeah.
if you watch my feed for one day, but in 2021, these are new numbers that just came out, so I don't quite have them memorized. By the end of the year, I'll have them all memorized by heart. But in 2021, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received 29.3 million reports of child sexual abuse material. That's 29.3 million to the National Center for
Million.
Children.
Wow.
Hold on. No. It gets worse.
Oh, it gets
29.3
worse.
Buckle up.
Yeah, it gets worse. That was up 35% from 2020. 2020 was the highest we've ever seen. But there's a thing about that number, 29.3 million. That was the number of reports to
Right.
the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Each number of reports can contain any number of images and videos in it. So one report can contain 15,000 images. Does that make sense?
Wow.
So
And that's what's reported.
that's what was reported. And from that, yeah, I mean, these numbers are absolutely insane. So out of that 29.3, 29.1 of those 29.1 million of those reports reported to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children were reported from our tech platforms, that like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, 4chan's on here, basically Amazon. These are all the companies that reported this child sexual abuse material. It's
Wow.
right out here. A big one this year was Dropbox, of course, Instagram, Facebook. So it's a Snapchat's on here. I mean, this is all like these are our regular platforms that we use every day. It's not like this is
Wow.
being reported from the dark web. So I know people don't think it's a problem. It's a big problem. I can't overstate that.
Yeah.
But
I just had a revelation in my head. So I've talked about. I'm gonna get to my point, so I might seem to veer off for a little bit. So I've been talking about what has led us here to the society that we're in right now. Like, what is causing the issues? And one of the biggest problems that I found is single parent homes not having a balance between having a strong father figure and a strong female figure, mother figure. Both I think are absolutely necessary, and we're seeing a lack of fathers in life. So people are being not necessarily smothered, but nurtured too much by
There's
mothers.
an imbalance of
Because
energy. You
that's
need
what
tough
mothers
love and you need soft
should
love.
do, right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing that mothers nurture, but without like the fatherly stern love that's gonna smack you and be like, you're getting nurtured too much. You got to recognize reality, and like that balance between the two. You see a softness that's now being instilled in all of youth, right? And we see it. They can't even take a joke. They can't
No
hear
criticism.
a word.
Yeah.
No criticism. Nothing. That's why they want communism, because they think that it's going to be this utopia where everything's going to be given to them, which is what they want, because that's what they have always gotten.
No struggle, no rejection, no competition. It's like, first place, that none of it means anything because anybody can identify as anything.
So what are they looking up to, right? I mean, what are they attracted to? So now I'm bringing it to what we were just talking about. So you don't have a father figure, you just have a mother figure that treats you like a child, right? Like nurture. That's what you get nurtured until you get set out of the nest. So no one's being taught how to like leave the nest and like look up to people that are good at being outside the nest. They're looking at like things mentally, or not necessarily even mentally. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Staying in the nest mentally, emotionally, instead of like,
and sexually is what I'm trying to say. It's almost as if we're breeding the way that society is nurturing people and making them soft is keeping them into that. So they're not even attracted to like adults anymore.
It's just a lack of maturity on all fronts.
You treat anyone like a child their entire life, they're going to act like a child their entire life. So these children, these adult children, are going after kids. Well, this is not just one reason. It's also because they're the most easily susceptible to manipulation. You know, their children are clueless. You know, they don't know. They don't have a mind and awareness, and emotional intelligence that most adults should have. Because I don't even think most adults do have emotional intelligence, which is another sad thing. But I don't know. It just popped in my head while we were just discussing this, listening to Eliza speak, and I'm like, you know, that could be part of the cause that's causing a huge spike in this. At least, is it a huge spike, or has it always been a thing as bad as it always has been? I don't know.
And I think, you know, you definitely are tapping into something there, and it's a multifaceted problem. I mean,
I'm
back
sure.
in the day, it used to be pedophile, chopsticks,
nail file, no.
Creepers.
Trading this imagery on Polaroids in like back alleys. You know, this was kind of, it was hard to get material, because how do you even start that conversation to get the material? It was sort of a darker, seedier network.
Right.
Now, as a result of the internet, every year, and cell phones was the big sort of when it really spiked, when it really jumped. That was when we saw the biggest jump. And the truth is, when people are seeing this content, they want more and more and more, and they're connected. And it's sort of like with other situations where they want more violent, more young. It doesn't, like, it's not a thing that gets better, you know? So I understand what you're saying. And these people are sick that are viewing this content, knowingly viewing this content. There's something else that I should say, just because I feel like it's due diligence to say this. A large swath of this content is self-generated. So what self-generated means is it'll be a minor taking this imagery of themselves and sending a text or posting it somewhere. So when Facebook has done, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm giving Facebook compliments. Facebook's done a really, really thorough job at collecting data. And also has changed some things over the last period of time, about a year, and they're really doing a good job at catching this type of content before it even needs to be reported. They're almost at like a 98% of proactive rate of removal before it even gets reported. And what they're finding is a large portion of this content is self-generated content, and also folks trying to raise awareness and draw attention to it, and inadvertently sharing the content also. So, or like, you know, they'll see it and they'll share it. So I don't want to, you know, scare people. I mean, to me, self-generated content is bad as well. Like, so yes, there are a lot of these degenerate, disgusting individuals. Other things that I think are important to look at are the age. So the age where it's not self-generated content is extremely young.
Yeah.
So that's where we get into the like extremely sick individuals that are making this content. You know, I think that regardless how I feel, and I'm doubt I'll change on this, is if you knowingly seek out this content, there's no chance for rehabilitation, and you should probably be away for life. I don't even think it's a negotiable.
Well,
and
that's why this judge is a really big problem, because she's sending a clear message that it's not that big of a deal.
It is a big deal.
I know. Exactly.
The survivors that, you know, I think it would be interesting to call on the survivors of the individuals who were under fire or that were caught looking at their content, to have those survivors explain the long-term impact that material has had on their life. You know, I sit here, I joke with everybody, you know, I hang out with a lot of comedians, I have a lot of fun friends, and everybody's cool, whatever. I don't think I can overstate the long-term impacts that this has on these victims' lives. I mean, most of them will never be the same. And I can't express that. Most of them will never fall in love. Most of them will never have a normal, you know, adult relationship. Some will never be able to work. This is trauma that can
Some
literally
can never conceive, have
It's,
fertility
yeah, I mean,
problems.
the list goes on and on
Yeah.
and on. The risk of dying by suicide, self-harm, addiction, homelessness. I mean, mental health issue. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I like to have fun and I like to joke around, but at the end of the day, it's about these victims and survivors. I would like to hear from some of the survivors, if they aren't currently minors, of course. Those individuals that were caught and let out after 3 months,
Yeah.
what impact that material has had on their life.